Hello and welcome to another match from the Shogun 2 Sakura Spring Championship. From the vanilla bracket, this is a round 2 match played between C4 in gray and Spice Merchant in pink. A while ago, actually, probably about a month old or so. And this is still in the regular or early tournament best of 3 format on lowlands, which was picked by C4. And since replays, especially with Spice Merchant, do tend to get into action very quickly, I'm going to stop the game here and go over the builds. So already you can see from the first glance, lots of Ashigaru units for C4. So general is accordingly a leadership general. And then let's start with the skirmishers. Here's a Matchlock Ash, rank 5. Two of those. And a third Matchlock Vanilla. Then he has a Bow Ashigaru, rank 3, with some upgrades in accuracy and ammunition. A Daikyu Samurai 200 range on rank 8, it would seem. And his general does not have bow enabled, so that should be it for the skirmish side. Then he has melee-wise Bulletproof Sam, rank 5 on the right. Yariash, rank 3. Yariash, rank 2. Yariash, rank 2. Yariash, rank 3. In behind 4 lone swords with Banzai and a couple of Naginata attendants here and there. Cav wise, obviously there's not going to be too much funds left here for Cav, but he has a Fire Cav, rank 5, and a Light Cav. And since this replay is from his side, I don't think there's going to be anything hidden, because otherwise we'd be seeing it already. And okay, forgot the dojos. Farmhouse on the right side, a Shrine on C4 side, and Sword Dojo on Spice Merchant's side. So both are effectively being gifted a very strong dojo. Spice Merchant has a lot more Cav, but that can be somewhat deceiving, because all of these 4 Cavs that you see here are light Cav on rank 5. Not to be recommended, but he likes it for some reason. He brings vetted light Cav a lot. And 4 of those, and I think nothing else, at least so far from what we can see. His general is also a leadership gen, just as C4's gen, but his has slightly better melee stats than C4's. And then infantry-wise or skirmish-wise, he does like to bring a lot of matchlocks, basically all the time. So matchlock Sam, rank 5. Tokitaka's Tanigashima, rank 5, a hero matchlock. Very seldom to see these on the battlefield, especially in tournaments. I don't think they're too special, or at least not special enough to justify their price, in my opinion. Then he has Portuguese Tercos, which I do like a lot, especially on some wooden maps, to be recommended because of the extremely high accuracy. And another Matchlock Samurai, rank 5. So lots of funds being spent on matchlocks. And then also, as usual, he tends to neglect the sword component altogether and just focuses on spears. So there's a Yari Sam rank 5 and another Yari Sam rank 5 on the left flank. And then a Long Yari rank 6, Yari Ash rank 2, Yari Ash rank 3, Yari Ash rank 1, and 2 more Yari Sams rank 5 on the right side. So 4 in total. Very unconventional army, as you come to expect from a player like Spice Merchant. He has his own kind of way of playing, which comes with its own upsides and downsides. But I think this kind of explains the choice for C4 to bring a Daikyu here, to kind of play with the terrain and use it as a counter to the expected matchlock units from Spice Merchant. So let's get this to regular speed. Very central positioning from C4, who seems to be content with the control of this shrine, and also gets into this forest here. This is kind of the area where players tend to be a bit more aggressive, or at least take up the space, because especially for both in vanilla and in Fall of the Samurai, this is a very good spot for skirmish units. Here, obviously, this is going to be very very beneficial to Spice Merchant, or at least in theory, because and that's kind of the problem with the matchlock heroes. They're not immune to bullets, and already down 9 men out of a unit with only 30 men, just from a very, very cheap matchlock Ashigaru rank 5. So this looks okay and good even from a positional perspective for Spice Merchant, because he has a 2-on-1 matchlock wise, but this is some nice focus fire on the hero matchlock, and overall C4 can be very happy with how this is going. And I think other than that, C4's challenge here is going to be to block off enough space to give his Daikyu the free range to keep firing for as long as possible. So these Matchlock Ash rank 5, obviously being outclassed by Spice Merchant's Matchlocks, are going to have to be the sacrificial lambs here to keep the Daikyus firing, which is the real value in this army, I think. And yeah, this is also kind of the only initiative that C4 has, because with only 2 Cav units, there's not really too much else you can really do here. So yeah, so far I think this looks kind of okay for C4. The position is even quite nice here. This little elevation in and around the shrine, but it looks like if this Yari Ashigaru isn't killed off soon, that Spice Merchant will decap the shrine, so he will nullify the morale advantage from C4, while at the same time already having captured the sword dojo, which gives him a huge boost. But still, 4 lone swords with Banzai against 4 Yari Sams rank 5, even when they're boosted with the sword dojo, you can see 11 attack, and that's with the sword dojo. That's nothing compared to 17 attack from these lone swords. So yeah, obviously sword dojo is important and great, but it's not going to make him win the main melee engagement here. Yeah, so this is all about skirmish trade-offs. Let's get this to regular speed again. Some Yariash against Yariash action. C4 opting for a much wider formation. Spice Merchant preferring the much thinner block. Not actually sure what's better here. I think both have advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, the more dense formation makes it easier to get it surrounded and get a morale penalty. At the same time, when you spread out in the formation as wide as C4 does here, then it increases the likelihood of the unit being like brushed on its flank somewhere, and then also dropping its morale. So it's kind of weird. I don't know what's better here, whether to stretch it out like a spaghetti or have it remain dense. I don't think it makes too much of a difference really. Then in the main center, I think Spice Merchant managed to cross this little river here and pushes up his long Yariash, but by the looks of it, they're in a very weird formation, and again, very dense formation, being surrounded from almost all angles here by lone swords who are winning the engagement. So I don't think this long Yariash is going to be worth the money in the end. And that's kind of the only thing that's really holding here for Spice Merchant in the forest. So this turns out to be a great position advantage for C4. And let's have a look at the other side. Here, again, it looks like Spice Merchant is trying to be the more aggressive player, trying to cross the river here. But his main core just consists of Yariash in the center, and it's really hard to be aggressive with Yariash, especially when they are easily countered with C4's Yariash, which are at least equal. Then here's some. Okay, this is going to be obviously beneficial for Spice Merchant. The Cav fight here, that's not something that C4 can count on. But I think much more important is this Daikyo here on 70 kills at the moment. looks to be caught in a mess with some flanking charges from Light Cav. I don't think it's going to rout off. I think he should be able to save it. He has to sacrifice this Bow Ash, which is fine to just kind of absorb and block the charge. And maybe with this bulletproof in the back, he will even be able to trap these two Light Cavs and kill them off, which frees up his back. At the same time, Matchlock Sam from Spice Merchant. Here's a good opportunity to snipe the Daikyu, and I think he needs to give an attack order here, because this might be the last chance, especially with some of these Cav units getting trapped here in spears, to effectively damage these Daikyus. So I think he really needs to use this opportunity to snipe. And here's a Matchlock on 0 kills, seemingly not having had action yet from C4. Yeah, maybe he just needs to reposition it. I think here he can get some nice flanking shots. Other than that, it still looks pretty balanced. Here we do see a micro mistake by Spice Merchant. I think this Matchlock Sam rank 5 has had an attack order on some unit, and now they kind of unintentionally walked straight into a melee against the Yariash spear wall from C4. This is a costly mistake. And once again, Yariash against Yariash across all flanks here on the battlefield. But I still don't see how Spice Merchant is going to counter some of these remaining lone swords, especially since his Cav advantage isn't that strong, and you kind of need the Cav here to help your Yari Sams kill off these lone swords. He seems to prioritize going after the bows, which is understandable, but when you only have 4 light Cav, you can't do everything with it. And here I think, yeah, this is another very good block by C4. Bulletproof Sam getting in between the light Cavs and the 2 bows, which are retreating just in time. And now with the Nugget Tenants coming in the back, this is, I think, the final trap for these light Cavs. 2 of those already routed earlier here, and then Spice Merchant is left without cavalry, and then he's going to have, yeah, really big problems here with the Daikyu, 64 men remaining, and the swords. C4 has to be careful here with the general. I think with this back charge, the general might die. 8 men engaged with Yari Sam. I don't think he's going to make it. His own general is much safer here. Shrine has been decapped, so no more advantage for C4. And yeah, Spice Merchant's general still has the ability to get back on horseback and be effectively used as a Cav unit, which could be kind of key here in the end to chase off these Daikyu Sams. But let's count the actual melee force that's left for Spice Merchant, because that seems to be lacking. There's 100 men Yari Sam, rank 5 here, but they're not really doing anything. They're kind of covering the retreat of the mismicroed Matchlock, which has actually routed off now. So they don't really fulfill a purpose here anymore. Not even sure if it's a good idea to push in here. Maybe you should just save it for later and try to catch the Daikyu and the Matchlock now with the general. I think the window of opportunity to do that is right about now. This general needs to get out of stand and fight and be used as a Cav to kill as many men as he can from these 3 skirmish units that are positioned over here really close to each other without protection effectively. Bulletproof Sam, 100 men still. They're going to hold out for a long time, and I don't think Spice Merchant has the time to wait until they are killed off, if he even has the melee power to kill them off here. Matchlock Samurai obviously not going to be much help against the Bulletproof, and Yari Sam 80 men, even with Yari support, are going to struggle against the Bulletproof. So yeah, I think this is a waste of time for Spice, and he doesn't have the time. He needs to get on horseback, go around, and kill off as many skirmishers as he can. And C4 obviously targeting now the general from Spice Merchant with his Daikyu. very wisely, and the window of opportunity for Spice is closing every second here. You can see it by the power bar that it's getting worse by the second. Now C4 managed to free up his force in the forest, is flanking up with some 2 Yariash and 3 Lone Swords, and yeah, I think in the end that's just going to be too much. We definitely saw some, I think, mistakes by Spice Merchant that were easily avoidable and could have increased his chances here. Some of the river crossings here were either unwise or just mismicroed straight up. And I think this is, now you can see this is over, but I think this was still a pretty close game, and it could have been much closer with some more careful play by Spice Merchant. Because I think his army builds could work against C4's build. Still not ideal because of the lack of swords, but I think this was a very doable mission. Because when you're having so many matchlocks and you're only up against 2 cavalry units, then you can do a lot position-wise. You don't have to care so much about protecting your matchlocks. You're kind of free to move and maneuver around and work with small unit groups and formations. So he had a lot of liberty here to use the terrain to his advantage, and I don't think he gave himself the time to. Maybe because he felt pressured by the Daikyu Samurai. But I think some of the crossings of the river here were just a bit too early, a bit too premature. Not to mention the wasted matchlock hero. I'm gonna look at these stats, but I don't think that was a good investment, to be honest. I mean, it cost roughly 1k, maybe a bit more. I don't know. I played so little that I'm not sure about its cost, but it's not one of the cheaper ones. It's not below 1k, I think. And I don't really get the point of a hero matchlock unit. I really don't. So let's have a look. Swords doing expectedly well for C4, as there is the Daikyu. Bulletproof Sam were quite crucial here, I think. They were resilient for long enough to hold the flank. Didn't really follow the fire cav too much, to be honest. And yeah, for Spice, Tailcrest were probably targeted by the Daikyu. Otherwise, I don't know why they only got 90 kills. That seems a bit low. But yeah, level 5 hero unit, 76 kills. Kind of a waste of money. And with the leadership general, you don't even need a hero unit. Your morale should be fine without one. But yeah, I think was a very interesting game. Quite even up until the end. There definitely were some opportune moments where it could have turned around. But in the end, C4 was more consistent, made fewer mistakes. And yeah, I think that sealed it. And this makes the score 1-0 in favor of C4. And I'll hop into game number 2. And we're back on Shikoku River. Picked now by C4. Yeah. And both players going for the 2 dojo island right from the get-go. So I think this is going to be a rather fast one. Dojo-wise, Sword Dojo Shrine, so explains the obvious choice. And then on the farther side, we have a farmhouse, which is negligible, maybe worth sending an attendant over, but otherwise, I think all the action is going to be over here. Then the army of C4 consists of an unchanged leadership gen, once again fire cav, so he has a replenishment on that unit. And another light cav, so he stuck to with his guns, only going for 2 cavs. And let's see if the rest is similar as well. I think this is a bit too congested to tell. I hope I'll be able to count before Spice Merchant charges in. Okay, so it looks like once again a front line of a couple Yari Ash. I would assume 4. Yes, as well as a long Yari Ash. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 Banzai Lone Swords. 1, 2 Matchlocks, but not extended range, only rank 2. And 3 bows, but all of them Boa Shigaru, so no 200 range bows. And yeah, on the side, 1 more Matchlock rank 2. I don't know what he upgraded them in. Presumably accuracy. Maybe accuracy and morale, but definitely at least 1 in accuracy. And Yarisam rank 4. Yeah, Yarisam rank 4 on the side to support. All right, and for Spice Merchant, he also has an unchanged leadership gen. And then Light Calf, Yari Calf, Light Calf, so he changed it slightly. All of the calves have various upgrades, but still best one in the roster is a Yari Calf rank 2. And he also stuck with his principles. So he went for a lot of matchlocks once again, Matchlock Warrior Monk, vanilla, Matchlock Sam, Matchlock Ash, all vanilla, which is probably a good choice because with this terrain over here, range upgrades are kind of useless. Most of the volleys are going to be at point blank range. Supported are the matchlocks by Yari Ash each at various levels. Long Yari rank 6. Yari Ash 7, Yari Ash 7, Yari Ash 7. So quite expensive Yari Ash, but no hold firm. And once again, flanking force of Yari Sam, even higher vetted this time, rank 8, rank 7. And over here, rank 7, rank 8. Again, very similar principle with 4 Yari Sams. And potentially going to struggle for the same reason. Yari Sams against Lone Swords. That's always kind of a tough battle, especially since there's very little calf on C4 side to cover against. So the utility of these Yari Sams is kind of limited against this sort of build. But let's see, a lot of the engagements on this map are decided by the initial couple chargers, which have the potential to havoc or to cause havoc and chaos and just disorient the enemy. So lots of mass routes have happened here. Lots of spear wall engagements, lots of sniping also. There's also a good opportunity for matchlocks to snipe, especially when they get up close over here or something. Very often you see opportunities to just snipe out the general and stand and fight or something. That's something to keep in mind. So when you go and stand and fight, make sure to go into a somewhat protected position so that doesn't happen to you. Because once you go into stand and fight, it's kind of hard to get out of it. Sometimes, depending on how early you need to get out of it, sometimes you need to wait for the timer. And yeah, the details like that sometimes decide the battle over here. At the same time, I think, judging by the position of Spice Merchant, C4 at this point can just move his right flank. You can already tell there's no enemy units going to pass around here, so the surprise moment is kind of not given here. And I think you could really use this light calf at least to wrap around the back. At the same time, C4 obviously has to be more compact here. Cavalry disadvantage. He has to kind of form a block formation. And it looks like he got the first volley with both matchlocks even, causing really devastating damage on the matchlock Sam and the matchlock Ash. And at the same time, I think this is kind of a neat feature of this map. Even Boa Shigaru are able to decide skirmish fights here because they can fire wherever they're positioned. They're less reliant on even terrain, and with the combined fire of Matchlock Ash and Bow Ash, these matchlocks from Spice Merchant are going to struggle, and you can already see that they're going down very fast, and this is not moving in a decent direction for him. And there's now going to be an onslaught of cavalry in C4's back, but none of these cav units are supported by any infantry, so this makes it rather easy to defend. If he even goes in, this could be a feint, but the back just consists of fire cav and spear units, so no threat here really from these cavs. I guess he feels he needs to do something, he needs to get active, cause some chaos, but this looks to me more like a waste of money and waste of cavalry, and a throwaway of one of the few advantages that Spice Merchant has had in this army. These two Yarisams are kind of not active here, not really using the chance to maybe squeeze through to get a flanking maneuver on C4. They're just kind of watching the battle, which is not something you want from your Yarisams, which is supposed to be one of your more mobile units. This Meshach Warrior Monk actually got a really good position. I like this position from Spice, but the two more central ones just got absolutely demolished by the combined fire. And now the Boash can freely shoot at these very low armor Yari-Ash, and they're going to rack up kills there as well. All the while, very comfortable position in between two dojos, just with some very cheap spear walls. Nothing really to threaten C4's position here. Nice pullback by Spice Merchant, recognized that he wasn't going to win anything with unsupported cavalry here. Now, potentially Spice Merchant's Yarisam getting into C4's general. He needs to be careful here. But yes, I think C4 is going to get it out in time. Don't think the general is going to die here. And with these Yarisams, Spice Merchant is going to have to pull back himself now. Here we see Lone Swords against Yarisam. Yeah, Banzai already popped to boost the stats. These Yarisams are going to die. Now we see some flanking maneuvers here. But even here, nice interception by the Lone Swords. Again, swords against spears. Stories all this time. We know how this ends. But with some of the flanking fire, I mean, Meshach Ash are very inaccurate. He could potentially cause more damage to his own unit here. Something to keep in mind. But yes, so far, Spice Merchant has not been able to really find a gap for his cavalry to squeeze through and cause some damage. All of the vulnerable units, the bows, these swords, have been unharmed by cav so far. And C4 even has half-strength fire cav still left on the field. Let's have a look at the kill count for the bows. 50 kills, 115 kills for Boash. And where's the third one? 38 kills. So yeah, getting close to 200 kills here combined just from 3 Boash. And I mean, Spice Merchant hasn't really tried to brute force his way through the center with his Yari-Ash, which kind of looks like a waste of money, because remember, there's a standoff here between Yari-Ash rank 2 and Yari-Ash rank 7. So you can already tell that Spice Merchant is missing some of the funds he put into the central units that haven't really been activated so far. And it shows, because in the end, if he doesn't move them up, or at this point it's too late anyway, then this is just a waste of money. If he just uses his Yari-Ash to block in the center without moving them forward or trying to get them engaged, then he might as well just use level 0 Yari-Ash. But on level 7 they're expensive enough that they're kind of missed elsewhere. So this is much better budgeting from C4 with a relatively cheap center that's doing the blocking and the aerial coverage, and then yeah, even the Boash doing a lot of damage here to support. Let's have a look at the kills for the cavalry. 31, 65. And those are the only two depleted units left for Spice. Let's speed this up because probably from the very get-go and from the position you could tell how this was going to end. And yeah, I think once again army choice kind of was part of the problem here, more so than in the first battle. I think in the first battle, like take aside the lack of swords and the hero matchlock, there were lots of opportunities for Spice to win the game. Here it was much more difficult to overcome the build disadvantage, I think. Just lots more misallocated funds. No need for expensive Yari Ash. No need for 4 matchlocks, which are going to be destroyed by bows. Once again, no swords, which just compounds the effects of the other disadvantages. And yeah, in the end, there were just too many hurdles for Spice to overcome. And C4's lone swords once again had a very comfortable position here. 170 kills, 94 kills. Some of them didn't really have to do too much, weren't damaged that much. And yeah, same for the Yari Ash. They just kind of held down their position, and that was their role, which they did very well. And there was even a Nagi Warrior Monk rank 4 in the mix that I neglected to mention. But yeah, it's nice to see. I think this is a cool unit to mix into your builds, even when you don't have like the complete retainer support. Just sprinkling them in, I think, can be a wise choice. Also with Naginata Sams, very underrated as a support unit, not just as a core unit. And yeah, Spice Merchants. I mean, the Magic Warrior Monk, just from this one okayish position in and around the right side dojo, 245 kills. Compare that with some of the other matchlocks. 35, 57. And those were the more central ones that were focus fired by the bows. Yeah, I mean, that kind of shows you can bring matchlocks, but maybe 4 for this tight space is a bit too much. And maybe he should have went for the combined arms of both matchlocks. Or just gone for a straight rush, which also could have worked, because even though he might have had to run into a spear wall, at least the bows and the matchlocks for C4 wouldn't have the space to fire, so they would just be kind of on lockers. Because when it's too congested, then the skirmishers are kind of useless. And yeah, but interesting. Once again, I saw those battles live when they were played, but it's been a long time, so I wanted to cast them from the replays. I hope you enjoyed them. I think it was a very good game between two players who are featured on my channel many times before, so quite good players. And yeah, this means that C4 moves on into round 3 and Spice Merchant moves down into the lower bracket, and maybe we will see some more from both players. Until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.